Excellent. All right, ladies. So I'm going to get you to get your props near your mat. So at least a bolster or a firm pillow or two. I always like to have several, so at the end I can get really comfortable in Shavasana. At least a blanket or small pillow so you can slide underneath your bottom, and then either a yoga belt or a strap of some sort, a scarf would do. So just get your bits and pieces nearby. Make sure you've got a blanket to put on you at the end so you can get nice and toasty while you rest. Maybe some socks. And then we're just going to come and stand on the mat to start off with. And practicing with the mantra is so I am that. So on the inhalation, we say mentally to ourselves, so. And on the exhalation, it's hum. And it's almost like that ocean wave, so hum. So I'm going to get you to kind of work your way into using that mentally. And initially, just imagine that you are in water. Imagine you are in the ocean. And allow your body to become very fluid, almost like seaweed, which is just drifting through the ocean. So I'm going to get you just to take your feet wide and allow the arms to drift across the midline of the body. Taking a very slow breath in, so, and then a slow long exhale out. See if you can kind of move your body in line with your breathing, so the movement feels like it is being orchestrated by your breath. Be very aware of the weight of your heels in the ground, and you are transferring the weight from one heel to the next. Taking your mind's eye up to your shoulder girdle and feeling that lift and roll and drop of the ball and socket joint of the shoulder. Becoming aware of your fingertips just flowing through space. The trillions and trillions of cells that make up this body of yours, just allow them to become softer. Almost like there's more space between each of those cells. If you start to take your arms a little bit further back, a little bit bigger. So, in the mind, almost like that ocean wave coming up onto the beach and dropping away from the beach. And then turning this into a big swish. I like to imagine that if I was in water, I was pushing my hands through water. A slow swish. We'll slow these next few down. Slow. So. Deep full breath in through the back of the nostrils. Beautiful. Rinsing and allowing all the nerves that connect into the spine to have a little bit of a squeeze and release. Beautiful. And then come back into the center. Roll those shoulders and drop them. Roll those shoulders and drop them. And then allow your body to kind of roll and drop as well. Bending the knees, lifting, dropping, and then take the arms up and down and back up again and then down. So you are like this ocean wave, pushing the floor away. You can bring your feet a little bit closer together if it feels too wide. So just be comfortable in your stance. And start to push the floor away with your heels and get that ripple of movement up your body. Allowing that hum, mental hum, the breath releasing out of you, the so pulling up through you on the inhalation. Beautiful. And coming up, taking the arms up and behind you, backwards swimming. You can just get a little bit closer together, mobilizing those shoulders. And then just dropping the head. Be nice and heavy with that head, and then take the head across to one side. And then drawing the head back slightly, not too far back. And then the other side. And dropping down. Now let your shoulders join in so they start to unwind with the head. Make sure your feet are nice and splayed through the toes, wide through the base, heavy through the heels. Unwinding, unwinding, this tight rope, unwinding. And then pause it, start the other direction, a little circle, slightly bigger circle, and then even more, unwinding, releasing. That's the way. And then take it down to the pelvis, maybe hands out, unwinding the pelvis. Come on, take the arms up. If you do, just get the shoulders right down away from your ears. Big circling movement. Just want to get a nice bit of vascular flow down through those pelvic organs. This helps to release the lower back as well. One direction, other direction. Your shoulders be floaty. Your fingers be floaty. Good. And then take your feet a little bit wider. Turn yourself around to one side. This is my right side. Dropping down into warrior two legs. And take the hands down. And then as you breathe in, you do a big circle with the hands and lengthen that front leg. And as you breathe out, just feel into that front knee. So you push the floor away, you breathe in, and then you breathe out, and you drop down. So you breathe deeply, you spread the ribs. You get that breath going right down and out underneath the armpits. This time, pause, just lifting one arm up and back, arch your pose, stretching the whole front arm of the body. And then folding the forearm over the thigh, up and over to the other side. Stretching. Take this hand slightly behind you. Just going to these pectoral muscles, looking down at the ground. Make sure the knee doesn't drop in, keep it back. Breathe, pushing the little toe edge of that back foot down into the ground. Lengthening up and over. And then soften that front knee and push the floor away and flow back up again. And then just shuffle over to the other side. And again, take yourself into warrior two legs. And then drift the arms up on the inhale. Out on that dropping with the arms. Breathing fully out. You might want to just look at your fingertips floating through space and marvel at these hands, these instruments that you use daily. How extraordinary they are. And then drawing yourself into archer and pausing, full body stretch. And then exhaling and folding yourself up and over into side angle. And just pausing here. Maybe taking your hand back a little bit to get right into those chest muscles, looking down at the ground. Take it into the neck. Good, looking down, pushing the floor away. Roll yourself up. Give yourself a little shuffle into the middle. Roll those hips around. Give yourself a little groove in both directions. And come over to your bit of wall space. And we want to take our fingertips onto the wall and walk ourselves back into tabletop. Now, look at your feet and give them a bit of love, no matter what they actually look like. Give them a bit of love. Lift your toes, spread your toes, bending the knees so you're nice and soft here. And then kind of push your feet down and out on your mat so they feel like they're getting a good stretch underneath the feet. The soles of the feet are active. And then kind of push down and slightly out even more so you get the stretch up the side of your legs. Imagine your tail is being drawn gently back behind you. Roll the shoulders away from your ears, and you might need to take your fingertips a little bit wider so that you don't get any congestion around your neck. We want to stretch the spine, so keep feeling like your tail has been gently pulled backwards, creating space between the vertebrae. Like I said, bend the knees as much as you need to here. Over time, you'll get more stretch through those hamstrings. Now, I'm going to get you to take to the right hand, up and over to the left side, bending that left knee, taking the right hip back. You might even look underneath your right armpit. So we get that deep stretch right into the hip here. And you want to breathe deeply. So, and then just walk it over to the other side. So left hand over to right side, a little bit above the right hand. Bending that right knee, dropping the left hip back. Good. And then bending the knees and blowing yourself up. Take the left foot forward and press the right heel down a couple of times. So go into those calf muscles, into the Achilles, just massaging down like so. And then take that right hand onto the wall, pressing the wall away. Take the left hand onto the sacrum and give yourself a little twist to the left side as you press your right heel down. So we're getting a bit of an action here through the mid-back combined with your calf. Wriggling your lower jaw. Sighing the breath out and then coming back. Take yourself onto the ball of your foot. Take the foot back a little bit. Drop into that front knee. So we get a bit of opening here on the hip flexors. So if you've been sitting a lot today, this is a nice thing to do. And then I like to just walk those fingers up the wall a little bit. If this feels okay on your spine and wants more, then maybe take the hand up towards the ceiling. Maybe back a tiny bit. So right hand and right leg back. Full deep inhalation. You want to expand the rib cage on that inhalation. Create breath right here underneath the armpits. Lots of space. That's it. And then pause back for a moment in tabletop. Just lengthen the spine, lift the sitting bones. Give your head a shake. Make a bit of noise like this. With the sheets. Breathing in deeply. You're basically shaking your face and making a bit of noise at the same time. Nice loose lips. Alrighty, other foot forward. Left heel dropping back this time. Massaging into the calves. Massaging down. And then leave it down. Taking that left hand onto the wall. Bit of pressure, so we do have a bit of core activation. Right hand on the sacrum and just a gentle twist. Good. Tight on this leg tonight. It's interesting, isn't it, when things just show up and you're like, oh, what was I doing that caused that? And then coming a little bit closer with this foot shuffles back, so you come onto the ball of the foot and then dropping into that lunge. You might just rest here. There's no striving in this restorative. We are rinsing tension out to start off with, and then we're just going to be replenishing. So see this as a rinse out as opposed to a striving for. Yeah. And then just bring yourself up. Keep your legs a shake, keep your arms a shake. I'm going to get you to open up your arms a little bit more, especially I've been seeing so much of this slight rolling forward of the shoulders, just a slight poke forward, but even a little bit can cause extraordinary stress and tension around the neck and the shoulders. So have a go taking one foot close to the wall, knee drops in towards the wall. We'll start with this one. Take the hand directly up the wall. And then you want to drape, as you take your knee into the wall, you drape your rib cage in towards the wall and you're breathing deeply. This is my left side. So I'm trying to breathe those ribs apart. Maybe even inching fingertips slightly up the wall. That's it. Good. Come away from the wall a little bit. Take the hand just a tiny bit behind you. So on the clock face, that was 12 o'clock. Now it's about 10:30. And then again, you're not going to be able to go as far this time, but a little bit of dropping in towards the wall. So this is taking us deeper into the armpit and into the top of the chest. And actually give yourself a little bit of a pummeling across the chest area. So we're going around the lymph, around the neck, to the thyroid, giving yourself a little bit of stimulation here. Good, and then dropping the arm down behind you. So now the elbow is bent. And so make sure the elbow is low enough. It's not too low, it's not high, it's just there, but behind you. And then a gentle turning of your head. So this can be strong, and we're going right into that lung 1 meridian. So I like to just massage right here, right there. Hello, good evening. Welcome, welcome. So just going into these pectoral muscles, but taking, if you've just joined us, taking your arm up and behind you a couple of times before you go straight into this. So a little bit of a massage into that tight bit. Ooh. So on the inhalation, mentally on the exhalation. Good, and then just see how that side feels. Hopefully quite loosey-goosey. I'm going to come over here so you can see me on the other side. So first of all, we're taking the foot close in, so this is my right foot this time, knee in towards the wall, hand up the wall, and then you're just breathing those right ribs into the wall. So you're focusing, taking the breath into that right rib cage, spreading the breath into those intercostal muscles, draping yourself a little bit closer to the wall. Oh. That's it. And then come away and take the hand a little bit behind you. So now it's heading to kind of 1 o'clock. Slight bend in. You're not going to be able to go as far, remember. So this is more into armpit and just underneath the shoulder. Good. And then bending the elbow, dropping the shoulder down. And this time we gently turn the head just a little bit. And you might want to, let's do the patting actually, we didn't do that last time. So very loose fist, pummeling just above the breast, around the shoulder, into that lymph area. Breathing really deeply. Good, and then take that down and give your shoulders a loosey-goosey shake around. See how they feel. And then come against the wall again. Now you're going to need your strap close by and a bolster or a pillow. So grab your bits and pieces and take your feet wide and then turn your toes slightly in. So toes slightly in because we want to open up the sitting bones. You want to spread the pelvic floor between those sitting bones. So toes slightly in, that's a tongue twister. Sitting bones against the wall, and then walk your sitting bones up the wall a little bit until you can feel a hamstring stretch here. Breathing, and then draping down. Breathing in, into tabletop, draping down. Breathing back into tabletop, and then exhaling. Good. Now resting here, so maybe holding onto your forearms so that the weight of your arms and the weight of your head, so 8 to 10 pounds of weight, attractioning your neck and your upper back. Taking deep full breaths in and see if you can send the breath down into the lower lobes of the back of your lungs. And as you exhale, feel any tension and stress just pouring out from there, all the way down through your head, down into the ground. Now, sometimes if you've got long hair, it's quite nice to do this. Sometimes I grab my fingertips onto the back of the hairline, so right where the hair grows from your neck, and then you just hold your hair, and that gives you a really nice kind of skull stretch and right into the neck. Make sure your knees are as bent as they need to be so you're not going into your lower back. Yeah, we want to stretch, of course, but not a twinge. So be mindful. So, hum. And as soon as you need to, just let your arms drop. So if anything doesn't feel nice, as soon as you get the little inner voice saying that's enough, you just come out. Yeah. Okay, so take your toes out now and slide your bottom down the wall and just pause in malasana, but with your bum up. So this kind of frog pose. And if you can, take your fingertips onto the ground or maybe on your bolster and gently press your knees out. So we're getting an inner thigh stretch here. That's right. And then just sliding your bottom down onto the ground and pause with your back against the wall for a moment. So you can just get that lovely imprint of your back against the wall. Chin drawn in, back of the head against the wall, creating that little constriction on the back of your throat, which helps us to create that ujjayi sound to the breath, that ocean-like soft sound. Makes the diaphragm work harder, just helps us to really tone the lungs. Just now get you moved over so that your hip is against the wall, so one hip against the wall, and then roll onto your back and take your legs up the wall like so. And just for a moment, let your back muscles settle into the ground. If you're able to put your arms above your head like so, this is really nice for the lymph to open up the armpits. It's great because we allow lymph to just drain down around the hips here and the armpits. Let the neck be nice and open. And just taking long, smooth breaths as your back muscles settle. And taking the arms down, so they're just resting beside you, bit of a sort of cactus shape with your arms. Taking your right ankle on top of your left knee and sliding the left knee down so that we start to get a stretch here into your glutes. That's it. And then just kind of rocking from side to side. So we massage across the sacrum into the lower back. Massage here. Noticing tension in your jaw. If it feels tight, just get your fingers and pinch along your jawline. So starting at the chin, just pinch outwards, taking little chunks of your chin flesh in your fingers, squeezing. And then when you get to the masseter muscles, you might need to use your thumb and your first finger and just take pinches, like you're pinching away the tension. Get a bit of blood flow into the jaw. Wriggle the jaw. That's it. Good. And then just let your right foot drift over to the left a little bit more. You might need to take your left foot with you until you feel a slightly deeper stretch going down into your bum. Maybe turning your head over to the right side. So like coming back into the center, take that leg up towards the ceiling and just give it a shake. a jiggle. And massage the foot around one direction and the other direction. And then taking that leg up the wall, taking the left ankle on top of the right knee, sliding the right foot down the wall until you start to feel the stretch in that left hip. Giving yourself a little shake from side to side. You can always move away from the wall, by the way. You don't need to be too close to the wall, so be comfortable here. And this time, let's take our fingertips and just tap like raindrops onto the crown of your head, right at the very top of your head. Little raindrops here. Close the eyes if you can, and just tap, tap, tap. Let your jaw be really loose now as you tap. Feel your whole face softening. See if you can allow your tongue to become heavy in the mouth. You might take that tapping down towards the temples, around the eyes, just gentle. And then back to the jaw, but around the cheekbone as well, just underneath the pterygoid, underneath the cheekbone, giving that area good, gentle pummeling with your fingertips. And then right into that area just below your ears. So low vibrational extended exhalations are one of the fastest ways to activate the vagus nerve. So whilst you're tapping into this tension spot, how about making a bit of noise? Low vibrational exhalation. Good. And then walking your left foot down the wall, taking that, left knee, right foot is actually on the wall, and then turning your head to the left. Oh, see, this side is way tighter than that side. It's really interesting, isn't it? How our bodies do a little switch up dance every now and again. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to take your strap and your bolster. Now, some of you love this, and I know some of you don't like it so much. So if you don't like having height underneath your pelvis, don't put height under your pelvis, or just put a folded blanket. But if it feels nice for you to be kind of like a waterfall pouring down, this is, again, a quick way to get into that parasympathetic nervous system. Because now that we're in this slight version, our diaphragm presses the breath out of us with gravity so much more easily. So you'll find your exhalation becomes longer. So the inhale, so, and that exhale, a little pause at the end. The pelvic organs are dropping away from the pelvic floor, so the pelvic floor can rest. Really nice. Okay, so make sure you're comfortable. I'm going to have to shuffle towards the wall a bit so my pelvis is a bit more supported. You want to be super comfy here, not kind of just falling off, but properly supported. If you need a little bit of height underneath your head, just grab a pillow, a bit of blanket. So I've just folded the bottom, so there's a little curve underneath my cervical spine, so underneath the back of my neck, just supporting the neck. That feels really nice. And then I'm going to go into a gentle hamstring stretch. So this is a nice thing to do before you go to bed, whether you're stretching your hamstrings and your calves against the wall, or in a version like this. If you're prone to getting cramping at night, this can really help. So we press the back of the pelvis gently into the bolster.
and then we press the heel gently away from us. And it's just this very subtle rhythm of stretch. And you do it with your breath in the mind's eye. So as the heel pushes away, you're inhaling, and as you breathe out, you're consolidating, you're pulling down, you're pulling that femur into your pelvis. Just try turning the toes out a little bit until you get that nervy stretch. And see if you can breathe into it and relax into it. So you're going towards the discomfort and you're using your breath to soften around the discomfort. So this is kind of a practice that we do on the mat to help us when we're off the mat, when we're facing uncomfortable situations, and we learn to just drop into the one constant, which is our breath. It's the one constant, and we can sit with that consciously extended, slow down breath and dissipate the discomfort by not pulling away from it, but actually going towards it. Good. Let's just try that on the other side. So hooking the strap around the ball of the foot. Again, pressing the heel away and then pulling the pelvis down. Checking with your shoulders. If that stretch is making the shoulders tense, you have mastery over your shoulders. Draw them down away from your ears. Consciously relax the back of your shoulders into the ground. So melt them like wax into the ground. The exhalation. So when you're ready, just drifting the toes out until you feel that nervy stretch. And so let your belly be nice and relaxed. Beautiful. Take both feet into your strap and then just stretch your feet apart and have a little play here. So do what feels nice. Press out through the heels. If this feels good, stay here. If you want to go into baby, just drop your knees. If you feel like you want to slide your feet towards each other again and come into a sort of halasana, sort of cloud pose, maybe have a go with that. So this is your kind of inversion-y playtime. Just seeing what feels nice. Again, if you're starting to feel at all dizzy or not enjoying being in this gentle inversion, please come out and roll onto one side. So there's no extra points for staying in anything that is not suiting your body and your brain in this moment in time. Beautiful. I'm just going to bring my feet down and let the knees drop out for a moment. Cobbler. I'm going to shuffle backwards, coming off the bolsters. So taking the strap away, taking props away, shuffle yourself back onto your mat so that your back can get nice and flat. And actually, I'm going to just do a twist here. So if you've got something you can put your feet on, like a bolster, great. Feet nice and wide, arms out to the side.
And then dropping the knees to one side and then looking over your shoulder on the other side. Closing the eyes and seeing if you can just melt into, it's a wide foot twist. If you need to slide something underneath your knees, please do so. This gets right into this long muscle that we've got from the inside of the knee, right up through the thigh, into the pelvis. So, so on the inhale, on the exhale. So this is a mental mantra. I am that. I am that. And then just up and over to the other side, slowly tummy back into spine as you move. So I am of the same stuff as the stars, and the moon, and the trees, and the grass. When you think this physical body of ours is condensed energy, if we were to put it underneath a very powerful microscope, there'd be more space than matter. Beautiful. Now I'm going to get you to come into babbling brook pose. So you're going to need rolled blankets or bolsters or pillows. And what we want, something underneath our knees. We want something underneath our chest. And you might find the bolsters too much. So it might need to be a rolled up blanket. And then we need a little blanket or a washcloth or something to go underneath the cervical spine as well. So the idea is that your feet are propped out to the side, your knees are dropping out to the side, that opens the psoas. So this is all our lymph here gets opened and massaged. Our chest is lifted, so we want to have our prop underneath the bra strap, so underneath your chest area. And then you want to have something underneath your neck so it doesn't feel at all painful, it feels nice. So please take a bit of time to find your version of this. Now, this might be too big for you here, so take a smaller prop. Do make sure your head is propped, but we want the neck to be open, so draining the lymph here, draining into the armpits, so arms out to the side, maybe slightly high, so you can get a stretching sensation. Fabulous for getting us to breathe deeper, and this tones into the adrenals as well. So get yourself comfortable, and once you're here, all you have to do is drape your body. Move if you're not comfortable, yeah, so shuffle, move if you're not comfy. It's a big stretch, but it should be still comfortable. You might need an extra pillow underneath your bottom, or a slide of something underneath your bottom, so it's not such a big angle. Deep, full, so complete release on the hum. So this is very toning for the adrenals. However, we don't want it to be a big back pain. So if this feels too much, like I said, please bring it down a notch so it's comfortable. Notice how much you can consciously unwind your lower jaw away from your upper jaw. I invite you to imagine over these next 3 or 4 exhalations that there is a screwdriver on each side of your jaw, and every time you breathe out, the screwdriver is releasing your lower jaw one more turn. And just see how slack
you can make your jaw. So when we allow ourselves to soften into these restorative poses, it's like we are peeling the onion layers off. And bit by bit, we're allowing ourselves to drop into a state where the nervous system starts to regulate. And we allow ourselves to unwind through movement into stillness. That internal state of calm, where the mind is no longer constantly chitter-chattering like a monkey. And we can start to really feel the sensations in our body that are happening in this moment in time. I'm going to get you to slowly roll over to one side and allow your body to drape over the prop you've got here that was underneath your chest. And you may or may not need your other props. I'm just going to take my bottom arm out. I'm still going to use this blanket actually for my head here. And do I need this one? I think I'm going to use it. I think I'm going to just let my foot rest here and then take top arm up and overhead as well. So obviously without the bolster, it's a bit more of a stretch, but actually it's quite nice if you've got an extra prop just to rest there. The idea is to deeply open the side body here. And actually, yeah, I'm going to take the bolster away now because it does actually tell you what, if you have your foot on the ground but your knee on your prop, that's nice. Try that. Foot touching the ground, knee supported. So sort of a halfway point between fully propped and the extreme, the more extreme version with no prop. And all you need to do is breathe. You just need to breathe deeply, fully. So we're allowing the diaphragm to start to expand. We're allowing those intercostal muscles between the ribs to expand. If there's been stuckness there, tension there, as you breathe, just imagine there are little sparkling lights, like golden light as a sunset drops down over the ocean. Imagine the water sparkling, and imagine that golden sparkling light just flowing around your spleen here as we create health, detoxify, sparkling around, swirling around. As you breathe in, see if you can amplify that sensation of openness. As you breathe out, you might want to imagine you're breathing out any toxins here, like the smoke. Very nice. Slowly, slowly rolling onto your tummy for a moment with bolster like so, so we can just rest down in child pose. We will do the other side, but we're just going to have a little rest here in the middle. If you find that your bum's high, use your other bolster or your blanket and just slide it underneath your bottom. So bottom can rest as well. And make yourself comfortable here. And just rest. And knees are quite wide. Bolster is just inside your knees. You could just stack a pillow or two underneath your chest. It'll be just the same. Again, checking your shoulders if there's any drifting up towards the ears and any congestion drifting back in again. Slide them down. Just go, no. You're going down. Then you'll head to the other side. Rest. And we're just going to slide into that side opening pose on the other side. So you want to take your prop back, slide yourself over. I might not be able to use this on this side, so let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Whole body lengthening, stretching, draping, melting. So hum. Rock on the exhalation on the hum. Maybe you should inch your fingers and toes right away from each other for a moment before we come out of this pose. So lengthen the whole side body, stretch, squeeze, and then release. And we're just going to roll onto tummy for a moment. Take that prop away. Now, you have got the option of use, if you've got a blanket, use it. Forehead. Arms out to the side like a cactus. Chin is tucking in, so we stretch the back of the neck. Toes are in, the heels are out. Belly is soft. If you haven't got a blanket, just one hand on top of the other hand. Crocodile pose. So this is incredibly grounding. Great position to put kids in who are feeling super anxious. Rock your pelvis from side to side. Let your belly be really relaxed. And just feel the front of your body melting into the ground. The third eye point here, if you can imagine that every time you exhale on that hum, any busyness in your brain is just flowing out from that third eye point down into the ground. And every time you breathe in, it's this white light just clarifying your mind, calming, cleansing, clarifying, exhaling, releasing. So when the toes are in and the heels are out, we open the back of the pelvis. We release tension around the sacrum. We soften the lower back. And just see if you can rock right across your belly so your internal organs get a massage. As you breathe in, allowing your belly to press down into the ground. Beautiful. Hands just under the shoulders. Press the floor away. Come onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes, lift the tail, and then tuck the tail. So take yourself through a couple of rounds of cat and cow with the breath being pressed out of you, and then that lovely slow inhalation being pulled into you from your movement. Noticing that ocean-like sound to the breath. And this next inhalation, pause, and as you exhale, downward facing dog. So make this as soft as you need to. Roll shoulders away from your ears, lengthen the spine. So this is a restorative dog. Let it be loosey-goosey. Shake your head. Let it all release. Breathe in, breathe out, slide heels down, full back body stretch, and then just drop your knees. Good. Allow yourself to rest in child pose for a moment, just using your fists to hold your forehead, one fist stacked on top of the other fist. If bum is high, just slide something underneath your bottom. Shoulders relaxed. Noticing how soft your face is, how drapey your body is. And then pushing the floor away with your shins, slowly roll up to a kneeling position. And just take yourself through a couple of cat-cow movements here. And then drop your head and roll your shoulders around with your head slowly unwinding. One direction and then the other direction. Good. And then coming to sit. So I'm just going to take you through a little pranayama practice before we go into shavasana. Some slightly longer practice tonight. So come and sit comfortably. If you've got any residual tension around your neck, just sort that out now. Maybe taking head over to one side and then the other side. I love this one. So your arms straight, locking into place, and then just adding a little bit of stretch out as you pull the forearm in. Extended exhalation. Oh, shoulders down, and then maybe other side. So I thought it'd be nice if we did a few rounds of Nadi Shodhana, so alternate nostril breathing. There we go, that's better. Okay, so nice long neck, chins in, nice long spine. Sit however you're comfortable to sit. So I'm straddling a bolster right now, but sitting on top of a pillow or two, sitting against the wall, whatever feels comfortable.
using that same mantra, so hum, so on the inhalation, hum on the exhalation. And we want to imagine the breath is like a triangle, and as you, it's like we're going up and down two sides of a wishing bone, but as you're exhaling, it's like you're creating this triangle out like so. So I always hold my elbow. If you don't need to hold your elbow, don't hold your elbow, but I always do, just so my shoulders don't get sore. I take my peace fingers onto the third eye point, kind of to remind me where the breath is going between the eyebrows. And then use your thumb and your ring finger to alternatively block off one nostril and then the other. This helps to balance the two hemispheres of the brain. And we're going to end, after we've done a few rounds on both sides, we're going to end by blocking off the right nostril and just breathing in and out of the left nostril, because this helps the right hemisphere of the brain to be more active, and that's the creative, dreamlike state. And it calms that whole analytical, kind of logical thinking side right down, which is what we want. Okay, so thumbs, like that, thumb and ring finger. Take a couple of your regular breaths in and out to start off with. So we get that lovely so hum in your mind, so hum. And then go ahead, block off your left nostril, breathe in through the right nostril, and then block off the right and breathe out through the left, in through the left, and out through the right. So that's one round. Up through the right, out through the left, up through the left, out through the right. So hum. So hum. And then just keep going in your own rhythm, because we all have different breath lengths. If you feel comfortable to close your eyes, doing that so that you can really focus your attention on the mantra and on the sensations of your breathing. If you have any difficulty with the inhalation, just focus on the exhalation. Let the inhalation do whatever it wants to do. Just focus on how long you can make your exhalation. A tiny pause at the end of the exhalation before that next so breath in comes into the lungs. Next time you're blocking off your right nostril, just stay in this position and taking a few breaths, maybe up to 5 breaths in and out of just the left nostril. And slowly taking the hand down, just taking your hands on your thighs and just noticing the quality of your mind. So if you do wake up in the middle of the night, what you can do is you don't even need to block off the right nostril. You can imagine you are, and you can just imagine you're breathing in and out of the left nostril. If you find in the night that your left nostril is really blocked, that means you probably do need to get up out of bed for a little while until you go back into that sleepier state. Maybe go out of the room, just come and sit outside, do some alternate nostril breathing, finishing with more like 10 rounds of just the one side on that left side. So ladies, I want to get you to get comfortable in Supta Baddha Konasana. So Shavasana, where you're nice and propped with your chest open. Again, this is really great for draining the lymph. Really, really good for toning those adrenals. If you just want to lie down and put the prop underneath your legs, do that. If you can be bothered and you've got the props to get yourself into this position, then it's nice to make the extra little bit of effort. We want either a bolster or a long firm pillow for our spine. We need something underneath it to take us onto our diagonal. So if you've got a couple of bricks, you might put your bricks underneath you, or squabs from the sofa. Something to put that on a diagonal. Your bottom goes right against it. So your sacrum's right against the end of it. And then you have something else, and it could just be a couple of pillows underneath the knees. You can get a blanket, roll it up like a sausage, put it sort of around the feet and underneath the knees. If you've got a prop like that, it's nice. You can just put your legs out, and then your spine lies against the bolster. Nice to have an extra pillow or something under your head so you're not back to your chin. Do put a blanket over you so you stay warm, really important. And if you've got a scarf or something, just pop over your eyes so that it darkens everything and you can really go internally into your body. That would be perfect. So I'm going to give you a minute or two to get warm and propped and ultra comfortable. And once you are comfortable, if you need to keep wriggling, if you need to shift, do. Make sure that you can just let go. We're going to do 5, maybe 10 minutes of just focusing inwards to seal our restorative practice. Wonderful. So take a moment just to become aware of the sounds in the room, even outside of the room. So imagine your ears are literally expanding. It's almost like you can feel the vibration of sound coming through your eardrums and into your brain. So really open your senses. And then really listening to the sound of your own breath. Noticing the difference between the sound of the inhalation and the sound of the exhalation. Take a conscious deep breath in now. And as you let it go, just let a feeling of tranquility spread throughout the whole body, almost like ink dropping into blotting paper and spreading out. And as the body begins to let go, the mind also frees up. So taking this opportunity to direct the energy of your mind constructively by planting a positive affirmation. It's called a sankalpa into the mind. It's a short statement that is in the present tense. It's a positive statement, and it captures your aim in life right now, in this moment. So it's present tense, but it is what you know would bring you into a deeper sense of balance. So it could be something like, my mind is calm and clear. My body is deeply relaxed and open. It might be with every breath, my body is healing. Maybe it's something to do with having more energy, more creativity, more clarity. Whatever comes to mind right now is what is right. So the first thing that comes to mind is probably what you need to be more balanced at this moment in time. And then make it a statement and just mentally say it to yourself 3 times. As you mentally say it, do so with feeling, with passion. And I'm going to take you through a rotation of consciousness around the body. And you just take your mind's eye to that part of your body that is mentioned. And just imagine the prana, the life essence, is flowing through to this part, and it's relaxing it and revitalizing it. And allow yourself to just inhale and exhale freely. So we're not concentrating, we're just remaining alert and taking the mind down into the right hand. The right hand. The palm of the hand. The back of the hand. The fingers. The lower right arm. The upper right arm. Shoulder. Armpit. Right side of the torso. Right upper leg. Knee. Lower leg. Ankle. Right foot. Right toes. Whole of the right side of the body. Left hand. Palm of the left hand. Back of the hand and fingers. Lower left arm. Upper arm. Shoulder. Armpit. Left side of the torso. Left upper leg. Knee. Lower leg. Ankle. Left foot. Left toes. Whole side of the left body. Feeling now into the pelvis. Taking the mind's eye into the back of the pelvis. Up into the right lower back. Left lower back. Right middle back. Left middle back. Right shoulder blade. Left shoulder blade. Back of the head. The whole of the back. The whole of the pelvis. Now taking your mind's eye to the top of your head. Becoming aware of the top of the head. Forehead. Right eyebrow. Left eyebrow, right eye, left eye, right ear, left ear, right cheek, left cheek, nose, lips, the space between the lips, tongue, teeth, jaw, throat, collarbones, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, navel center, lower belly, whole of the pelvis, whole of the right leg, whole of the left leg, whole of the right arm, whole of the left arm, the whole head, whole back of the body, whole front of the body, whole body together, whole body together. And one more time, repeating your sankalpa whilst feeling into the whole of your body together. Repeating your positive statement 3 times mentally to yourself. Start to become aware again of sounds around you. All sound. Becoming aware of the feeling of the air against your skin. The sensation of blankets, of pillows, bolsters, feeling of the earth underneath you, the air around you. Be exquisitely aware of the sensations of the breath at your nostrils, the coolness of the inhalation, so the warmth of the exhalation. Hum. 2 more times. So hum. So hum. Very gently start to wriggle into fingers and wriggle into toes. Very gently, very fluidly moving the head from side to side. Starting the movements very, very, very small, and then, like I said, very fluidly, almost like you are completely water. You can feel the want to be active now. Very slowly, when you're ready, bending your knees, rolling off your props to one side, pausing. When you're ready, just pushing the floor away and fluidly floating upwards to a seated position. Taking care to lengthen the spine and to find that sweet spot where your head is perfectly positioned on top of your neck, so there's no holding. You're very aware of how relaxed your face is, how relaxed your neck and your shoulders are. And just taking your hands together at the heart center. I am that. So hum. So hum. And when you are in that place in you where the whole of the universe dwells, when I am in that place in me, we are one. And that is the meaning of namaste. So when we see the practice with namaste, it is that recognition of all of us being I am that essence. So thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.